welcome to my channel. I am tatocat and we're playing Lucid9. Previously, we watched Grover Mecker, which is the best show of all time about an America president beating up otakabus and waifus and whatnot. And yeah, it was fantastic. And then we decided to study, and that is where we are. Okay, well, it's time to study. I dig through my backpack and crack open a few books. This year will probably be really intense with entrance exams coming up and all. Might as well do a little work. It'll be more of a pain to deal with nagging teachers than the work itself. After engrossing myself for some time, I checked the clock. It's 11. Good enough. Maybe I should just apologize to Rui tomorrow. Indulge myself in our friendship. Let everything go back to normal. Selfish of me again, but maybe this time I should just be selfish. Oh, what was that? It is bright outside. Why is it so bright outside? What the? Why is it already 8:30? I leap up to my feet, scrambling to pull my clothes on and tear out the door. It's kind of a weird thing. I'm not even a good student. In fact, I'm pretty much every teacher's nightmare. Being in a rush to get to school isn't like me. Maybe it's because there's a difference between choosing to ditch and ditching by accident. Semantics are important. One is your conscious decision and the other is not. Highly descriptive, I know. I'm told my essays are a joy to read. By the time I actually enter the classroom, it's already 8:42 a.m. The teacher glances at me from his periphery, but surprisingly enough, he doesn't try to humiliate me. In fact, he doesn't make a single comment. It's as if I wasn't late at all. Elizabeth, on the other hand, is wearing a prominent glare as I slip into my seat. She keeps her mouth shut, but her face radiates with disapproval. Yahiko nudges my foot and gestures at me frantically. Dude! His voice spits out in a hurried whisper. I lean over to hear what he has to say. What? Of all the days to be late, you had to choose today? What? Was there a pop quiz? There was a pop quiz? I'll take that as a no. Dude, I'm talking about the cutie over there. You missed her intro earlier. He gestures vaguely to the back of the classroom. I sneak a peek when I'm sure that the teacher isn't looking. I find a girl sitting by the window, head delicately turned against the slender fingers as she examines something in the distance. In ordinary circumstances, I might have thought her to be gorgeous. After all, that matches the ideal traditional beauty to a T. Silky hair, porcelain skin, delicate lips, whole 9 yards. But instead, I only find myself thinking, what the hell? Promptly followed by, who, what, when, where, why, how. Very intelligible, I know. But how else am I supposed to react when an old friend who I haven't seen in ages just randomly walks back into my life? Oh. Not only that, but as a transfer student to my school on the very last year I happened to be there. We have a stalker. Fun. Her eyes snap to mine, but before I can see her reaction, I quickly whip back to the front of the classroom because that's not noticeable at all. Smooth. Yama, smooth. Maybe I'm seeing things. Maybe it's not really her. There's no way it can be her. Right? I reluctantly tune my hearing back to the teacher, who seems to be in a very enthusiastic rant about technology. Surprise, surprise. This generation is wasting away from being glued to dead pixels every waking moment. Well, today I'm not having any of these newfangled contraptions. We're returning to trusty pen and paper. As the class erupts into groans, he scribbles 3 words on the board with a stylus. Your dream job. Oh, another question I hate. They just won't give us a break, will they? Furthermore, the teacher's deactivated our tablets and is currently handing out sheets of lined paper. Handwriting? Really? That's how I feel. I'm left-handed, so when I write on stuff, it just smears all over the page. As Yahiko passes the stack of paper to me, he leans close. So, what do you think? I think I'm tired of writing about my non-existent future. Huh? I was talking about the new girl. Oh right, the new girl. What's her name? Misaki Kazehaya, by any chance? How did you know? So, it really is her. I never thought I would see her again, much less in my own classroom. Oh, I know, you must have had some sort of psychic ability. That's the first place his mind jumps to? What? I mean, how else could you have known her name? Can you read her mind too? What does she think of me? You're an idiot. Probably, is what she's thinking. How he came to that conclusion is beyond me. Nevertheless, this seems like an excellent opportunity to screw with him. It'd be a shame not to. I pressed my fingers to my temples, pretending to tune into Misaki's thoughts. Oh, I see. What? She has a huge crush on you. Really? But... Yahiko shakes his leg impatiently as I pause. Can you stop thinking for a second? I keep getting interference. Huh? Oh, sorry. He scrunches his face in concentration. Now you're thinking I'm not thinking. Whoa, you really can read minds. You doubt my abilities? No, I just... Shh, I'm getting something. Yahiko clamps his mouth shut. I rub my temples, mumbling under my breath. It seems she has a crush on you, but she doesn't think you have the courage to talk to her. Yahiko puffs out his chest as if he were presented with a challenge. As if anything could deter the great Yahiko Kai from approaching such a beauty. Yahiko, this is a writing prop, not a discussion prop. Focus on your assignment. Right. Sorry, Teach. He immediately regains his composure and starts scribbling messily on his composition paper. That was oddly quick. I take a quick glance around my classmates hunched over their desks, some writing furiously, some staring awkwardly into space. The most avid one is Elizabeth, who's already on the second page, lips moving vertically as her arm blurs down her paper. I'm not surprised. She retains the naive belief that she can actually control her future. I can't wait for life to prove her wrong. Saki, on the other hand, has completely thrown away her pretense of studiousness, choosing to text under the desk with one hand while simultaneously pretending to write with the other. That's pretty impressive, actually. I take a quick pinch on the arm to check my stat of consciousness. Not dreaming, apparently, it's Misaki Kazehaya in the flesh. 5 minutes. Right, the assignment. What did the teacher say? Dream job, write 1 page. I stare at the prompt on the screen as if it'll provide me an answer. I don't want to deal with this. I definitely set my pencil to paper and scribble my response. 1 page. As morning classes slug on, I feel a very prominent gaze burning into the back of my head. I refuse to turn around, trying to piece together my thoughts. Should I approach her or not? When the bell rings, Yahiko immediately tugs on my sleeve, his face shining. Dude, I'm gonna talk to her. Who? The new girl, of course. She must be the shy princess type, waiting for her Prince Charming to sweep her off her feet. Who better than me to make her dream come true? I think you mean nightmare. Well, good luck with that. You're not coming? Why would I? Surely Akiko Ikai wouldn't be suggesting that he needs help from me. To learn, of course. I worry for you, my man. You may end up a spinster your whole life. You haven't snagged a single date all this time I've known you. Well, neither of you, but I won't mention that. Or the fact that spinsters are exclusively female. So, are you coming? I am, I guess. At the very least, this will be a chance for me to see what kind of person she's become. Mahiko swaggers over to the side of Misaki's desk, expertly raising a single eyebrow as he flips his hair out of his face. Why, hello there. I brace myself for a slap or a headlock in response, but Misaki only tilts her head quietly to the side, regarding him with a single arched brow. Can I help you? This appears to fluster Yukiko for a moment. Thankfully, he's not the school's best Casanova for nothing. Which honestly really tells you something about the quality of our Casanovas. Actually, yes. Do you have a map? Because before he can even finish the sentence, Misaki's fingers whip around her phone with the ease of long practice. In 3 seconds flat, she pulled a campus map onto her screen and shoved it in front of his face. Here, where in particular are you looking for? Wait. Oh. Are you also a transfer student? What? That certainly would make much more sense. I was just thinking, it's a little strange that a student would be asking me for directions since I just transferred here. But I should have realized. You must feel the instant connection of a fellow transfer student. When did you come here? Wait, this is a big misunderstanding. I'm trying to hit on you. Oh, I see. 7 out of 10. Huh? I rated your approach. You didn't even introduce yourself. You're right. How careless of me. I am the one, the only Yahiko Ikari. Surely you've heard of me. I highly doubt that. You wouldn't by any chance happen to be the Yahiko Ikari from Gover Mecker, the president's aide, that Yahiko Ikari? Yahiko's chest practically doubles in size. Wait, what? Indeed I am. Are you by any chance a fan? The biggest. I really enjoy the political satire, and the music is just amazing. Have we been watching the same show? Did you know that our patter tag is one of the top trending? And Isamu Times has us listed as a viral phenomenon. Viral for what reason? Well, that must be a different story. Congrats! I was sure that it would become a big hit. But of course, even the stars themselves are no match for any Kari. Or the moon. Oh yeah, guess what my next dream is? What is it? To build a vacation home on the moon. Yes. A vacation home? I wonder what would happen if you jumped on a trampoline while on the moon. How high could you go? I don't know. I'm definitely going to test it. Yukiko and Misaki are new besties, apparently, which is nothing short of absolutely terrifying. Meanwhile, I'm being completely ignored. Maybe she doesn't recognize me. Hey, Miki. She tilts her head in my direction, eyes bright. Hi, do I know you? Wait, what? She doesn't remember? Come to think of it, she hadn't spared me a single word or even a glance. She doesn't. How could she not? It's Yama Ishimoto. He's my minion. I'm sorry, I don't think we've met. Oh, you've got to be kidding. Childhood friends, 4 years back. You, me, and Rui, we all hung out together. What? Total blankness. She's honestly forgot. Words start pouring out of my mouth as I frantically search for something to get a reaction out of her. We all lived in Seto. Small town 3 hours drive away. Yes? No? I'm sorry, I don't think... We all played together. We were inseparable. And then at that festival, the one with the lanterns, Misaki's expression gradually turns from polite to more and more skeptical. Of all ways I imagined we'd reunite, this was definitely not at the top of the list. Do you really not remember? I'm really very sorry. This can't be. Rui and I bawled our eyes out after she left. We hovered by the phone for hours waiting for a single call. When nothing came, we even resorted to hovering by a mailbox in the vain hopes that we'd receive some snail mail. Was she saying that during that time, that 1 month which turned into 6, which turned into 1 year, which turned into 4 years, she'd just forgotten us? How could that be possible? Unless, by any chance, you haven't gotten into a tragic car accident and ended up with amnesia, have you? That's why you haven't called? Not in 4 years? She backed away slowly, eyeing me like I'm an insane psychopath. Okay, this is bad. This is really bad. I wore kimono. You really don't remember? She stops at that, a flash of recognition catching her eyes. Got her. I wore goodbye... Goodbye, kitty. Oh, it said hello, kitty. I'm amused by that. I wore a goodbye kitty kimono, ran around calling you a tooth fairy. You did? On second thought, I really should have talked to her with no one else in the classroom. I was a kid. But you wore a kimono and called her the tooth fairy. Well, yeah, but... About time you admitted it, Yama. I'm struck speechless as the situation begins to dawn on me. You know who I am? Know you? How could I not? It's only been 4 years. Then you were... faking it, of course. Why were you pretending to not notice me earlier? I knew you recognized me. Well, it's not every day you see an old friend who just decided to disappear one day. She stops at that, a flicker of irritation crossing her eyes at my cutting tone. It's not like I wanted to leave Seto, Yama. So, why did you? My mother didn't leave me much of a choice. You mean Satomi? She nods. You could have at least told us you were moving. I couldn't. I wait for an elaboration, but it never comes. That's it? You just couldn't tell us? Why not? Do you mind if we can talk about this later, Yama? I'm not very comfortable discussing it in class. I open my mouth to object, but something about Misaki's expression prevents me from pursuing the issue further. She genuinely seems distraught. Oh, there he is. I thought he was saying nothing for a little too long there. Wait, Yama wore a goodbye kitty kimono and called Misaki the tooth fairy? Luckily, Yahiko manages to change the subject. I decided to play along for the time being. I was a little kid, dang it. I hear excuses, all excuses. It's not an excuse. There's a legitimate explanation. I somehow fell and got my yukata dirty, and it was at the festival, and we weren't very close to home, and Miki had an extra kimono. A goodbye kitty kimono. Yes, and now he's wahahaing. Somehow having Yahiko mock me just makes the entire thing 10 times more worse. I cast a half-pleading, half-indignant glare at Misaki, who only shrugs in response. It isn't my fault that you enjoy cross-dressing. I don't. If only I had powder at the time, I would have taken a photo. Wait, so what's this pattern you keep mentioning? Judging by the reactions I'm getting, I've committed a huge faux pas. I'm like that with social media thingies. You don't know what powder is? Where have you been living your whole life? Under a rock? Well, technically that's what my name would imply. But is it like Secret Service database or something? Far more important, it's the most popular social networking website in today's society. I really question your priorities. Through Powder, you share posts with 90 characters or less. It allows you to spread important news, demonstrate your support, provide instant feedback to questions, or just blog about your day. Gopher Mucker got big because of Powder. As for me, I like to give updates on the progress of my day. Okay, fine, but does anybody actually care? That's a good question. A sudden death chill pervades the room. And that's also what happens when I say that. My second major faux pas of the day, apparently. People care. Are you sure? Because the way I see it, tapping two buttons doesn't exactly make you... They care. They care, damn it. Don't say nothing different till you pat yourself. Don't say nothing? Intense, Misaki. Wait, what? But the conversation grinds to a halt when Misaki's phone trills in her hand. She immediately regains her composure. Kazehana speaking? Yes, understood. I'll be there in 5 minutes. She cuts the call, shoves her phone into her pocket, looking me square in the eye. I must go. Duty calls. Duty? What kind of duty? My employer has a job for me. Job? Now? What about school? Oh, I'm sure they'll excuse this one. Let's talk again later, Yama. Oh, make sure to bring Rui, okay? Goodbye. And like a tornado stalking its next target, she blazes out of the room. I'm completely dumbfounded with Yahiko, who's dancing around the room like he just won his mansion on the moon. I have a fan. I have an actual fan, a real fan. I wonder how long it'll be before I can pledge her to my service as my first true minion. I wordlessly leave him in his fantasy of world domination and head to the cafeteria. It's more out of routine than actually being hungry. The shock of running into an old friend after 4 years may have had something to do with that. Maybe I should be angry at Misaki, but at the same time, who knows what had happened with her and her mother. She seemed pretty uncomfortable talking about it. At least she's here now. I guess that's all that matters. If Misaki wants to tell me, she will on her own time. And as a person who's made a lot of visual novels, I've always wondered why it's made to seem like a busy environment, but the background, there's no people. Nothing. There's like no service people over here servicing food, no one in the actual chairs. And other than that, I think this is pretty good background. I like the detail on the hardwood floor. It's nice. The cafeteria is broad and beautiful, boasting of polished surfaces and tidy, well-lit spaces. Modern furniture settles well on the brushed mahogany floor. Students in pristine uniforms travel to and fro, scooping food from the extensive buffet counters around the perimeters of the cafeteria and returning to their friends. I spot Rui in the back corner of the cafeteria, staring at the skylights with thoughtful tilt to her head. Actually, this would be a perfect time to tell her about Misaki. Rui would be thrilled to see her again. Hey, Rui. She jumps slightly at the sudden sound, and only then do I remember that I'm supposed to be apologizing for being dramatic yesterday. Except, I've never been great at apologizing, or even good, or actually even mildly passable. Say, how are you? I'm doing okay. How's class? It was okay, I guess. Oh, okay. We shuffle for a moment, and I finally clear my throat. About yesterday. It's okay, Yama. I know that seeing the bus must have brought up some memories. You were just lashing out. But I shouldn't have. No, I guess not. So next time something like that happens, I reserve the right to slap you silly. And just like that, everything is right between us. What have I done to deserve a friend like this? Thanks. But buy me lunch. What? Oh, come on, it's only fair. If I go into debt, I blame you for constantly mooching off me. Are you ever going to pay for your own food? Probably not. But you can't count those grocery trips because I ended up cooking everything for you. And yourself. Labor taxes. Let's go already, I'm hungry. But just as she reaches forward and pulls my arm to her side, we hear a very familiar voice from behind us. Who is behind us? I'll just do my neutral voice since I know. Well. What have we here? Oh! It's fun, teacher. Hello, fun teacher. Aren't we supposed to report to you at some point? We jerk around in synchronization and promptly come face to face with Mr. Ryota. Rui quickly squeaks and jumps away, suddenly bashful. Oh, hi, Mr. Ryota. Look at you two, the adorable childhood friends, finally getting together after years of unneeded drama. Ugh, I feel sick. What is this, some crappy anime? Wait, what? What? We're not together? I wouldn't go out with Yama in a million years. It's actually really adorable. I struggle to maintain a straight face. I know. I'm just too good for you. She snaps back into the Rui the rest of the academy knows her as. Witty, confident, and a touch malicious. She opens her mouth, no doubt, to smite me with some comeback or another, but Mr. Ryota breaks us up. Well, if I don't end up barfing my guts out, you guys will have the most adorable wedding in all of history. And there goes Rui. can you say something like that, Mr. Ryota? You're, you're a teacher. You should know better. Oh, come on. Until look back on this day and mark my words. With a cheerful wave, he splits to the facility express line. Those words sound fairly ominous. I can already imagine all the embarrassing stories he'd liberally share with the other wedding guests. He probably would have so many people rolling in the aisle from laughter that Rui wouldn't even be able to walk properly. What the heck am I even thinking about? Wedding? Rui? Mr. Ryota is being his usual self, I see. Yep. Now he's got me thinking about, nope, not going there. Maybe now would be a good time to switch topics. Alright, I even have the perfect material. Hey Rui, you're not gonna believe this, but I saw Miki today. Rui's face cuts to complete blankness in the space of a millisecond. It is really shocking news. Maybe I should have eased it a bit. She ended up transferring to the school, and we coincidentally wound up in the same class. Dead silence. I finally start to feel a prickle of apprehension. We can hang out together again. We can... Did we talk to her? What? Of course, it's Miki. Really, what's wrong? Aren't you happy? Well, no, I'm not. As far as I'm concerned, she has nothing to do with either of us anymore. Don't you remember? We were kids who held a stupid grudge for something beyond her control. Come on. We're older than that now. Oh, are we? She didn't really apologize, did she? Well, I pause for a moment. Rui's expression immediately darkens. I see that she didn't, and I know why. Because she wasn't there to see you fall apart. I don't think you remember, Yama, but you were in a really bad place after she left. Even to the point where, I mean, you know... But that wasn't because of Misaki. I mean, yeah, but she triggered the whole thing. It's just, when I think about it, I get mad at her. Really mad. So it's probably best for both her and me if she stays away. So, we're not gonna be friends again? The thought is so baffling that I can't help but stutter. In my mind, we'd always been a package deal, me, Rui, and Misaki. It was either all or nothing. I mean, you're your own person, so you should hang out with whoever you want. But I can't be buddy-buddy with Misaki until she realizes what she's done. I never thought Rui of all people would be so irrational. How bad had I been exactly? I'd never seen Rui so upset, at least not in a really long time. Sorry to be a downer. Why don't we just grab some lunch? How about you go ahead? I need to talk to Mr. Ryota. Okay. Surprisingly, she doesn't ask me any more questions. She heads to the lunch line without a word. Maybe she also feels rotten inside, like something has been lost forever. I shake these thoughts and immediately locate Mr. Ryota, who just popped out of the faculty line and conveniently enough is heading in my direction. He watches our separation with eyebrow raised to his hairline. Oh? What are the newlyweds already running into trouble? I ignore this. Good timing, Mr. Ryota. I wanted to ask you something. If the question is whether to officially ask Rui out, the answer is yes. What? No. No, that's not the question. Oh, really? That's a bit boring. Really? And I aren't. You know what? Never mind. I was wondering what it means when you see someone you haven't seen in forever, who you thought disappeared off the planet. It means exactly what you just said. Your life is actually a crappy anime. I never said that. Oh, you didn't? Mr. Ryota. Sorry, can't help it. Now, who is this person you haven't seen in forever? She just transferred into my class this morning. Really, me, we were really close. When we were little, back in our hometown Seto. Transfer student? Childhood friends? Don't even think about it. Too late. My life is not a crappy anime. It's not. You're right, it's a really crappy anime. So, what's the problem? Well, I talked with her, and I think we'll be friends again, but Rui is jealous? What? No. What is this, junior high? Sorry, I'll shut up. See, when Misaki, the transfer student left, she accidentally triggered a giant depressive state that basically left me in the dumps for a year. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. Rui claims it was bad. No. When can you come to my office today? I want to listen properly to you, and the cafeteria is not exactly the ideal environment. Well, I guess that Mr. Ryota got hired into this job for an actual reason. Okay. Guess I'll drop by after school. Or doing really... Either way works. Now, off to lunch, you gotta eat before the bell rings. Young and growing boys need all their nutrition they can get. You can't sound like the wise, all-knowing teacher when he just implied that it was fine for me to ditch school. See you later, Mr. Ryota. He only responds with a casual wave before he saunters over to the nearest table, chatting easily with a group of students. I snag a plate of food and search for Rui, but she's nowhere in sight. Guess that conversation took a little longer than I originally intended. I quickly scarfed my food down and returned to the classroom. Alright class, let's take a secondary roll before we head to the courtyard. What? We have more PE? The teacher's halfway through rolling her eyes before she catches herself. I guess it's not a good example to roll your eyes in front of your students. No, Yahiko, today's career day, as has been announced over the PE for the past 3 days. Afternoon classes are cancelled so the third years may explore possible future occupations with specialists. Oh, right. Questions of the future, writing prompts about our dream job, now career day. I think I'm sensing a pattern here. We're already running a little late, so let's make this quick. Anyone missing? Nope. That prompts us to glance around. I think he's right, ma'am. Everyone's here. Everyone except Misaki, who apparently is at her job. Time to do some not-so-subtle recon. Teacher, where's that girl? The one sitting by the window. The teacher waves her hand dismissively. Special circumstances. Anyone else? Despite myself, I feel a prick of curiosity. Special circumstances? What kind of special circumstances would warrant such an offhanded dismissal from a teacher? I thought most teachers loathed making exceptions for mandatory events. Just what could Misaki's job be? As the teacher continues to survey the classroom, I feel a nudge against my arm. I'm surprised you brought it up. What? Usually, you wouldn't say anything even if you noticed. You would have thought it's too much trouble. Her words are remarkably neutral. It's awkward. It feels like a trap. I think you should stop pretending like you actually know me or that you have a brain. You're inseparable. She storms to the back of the room in a huff. I'm inseparable? She's done far, far worse, and she's still judging me? What a hypocrite. Alright, looks like everyone else is here. To our destiny awaits. Alright, we will stop here. I'll see you next time. We'll see what destiny awaits for us. This has been tatocat. Like, subscribe, comments. Thank you, and have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon.